everybody. Welcome back to the Genzio Media House Dubai edition. I don't know what the actual title is of this, but we're in Dubai. We're doing the Media House. We got an excellent view. Don't look over the edge, but it's okay.
Look down carefully, but it's actually very nice.
Yeah.
Got a good setup here.
And today we are joined by Tim from Grindery. Tim, could you dive into Grindery? What is Grindery?
Yeah, sure, no problem. So Grindery is today the most used, most deployed smart wallet on Web3 across all chains. Smart wallet meaning it doesn't need any gas. You don't need any passphrases and private keys to set it up. And more importantly, because it works inside Telegram, it can actually send token rounds on any of the supported chains to your contacts without knowing their wallet address. Even better, I can send you some tokens without you even knowing that you have a wallet. So I can go into my Telegram, we're like, hey, 1,000 USDT, send it, and then send you a message, go like, hey, I just sent you money, or I sent you an NFT. Go like, damn, never used crypto before, no clue how it works. Go into Telegram, open up, they're like, hey, got it. And, from there, go into exchanges, go into, swaps, bridge it, just like any other wallet.
So you guys essentially just gave every Telegram user an access to Web3 and crypto.
Yeah. That was kind of the idea with it when we started in this direction. Last year we saw, really emergence of account abstraction, pushed by projects like Save, for example, from Genosis, right, Lucas. And so we really saw this opportunity. We're asking ourselves, what can you do with this technology? Because most of the blockchain technology is so complex, not only to understand, but to use. And I personally, and in the project, we've been very, very focused on how do we make stuff simple? Like, how do we build things that an average user that has never interacted with crypto in any form can actually do something with it? And for every one of us that, works in this, we still run into situations. The other day I was trying to set up a payment system, and it took me 90 minutes to swap some tokens and do an order. And it's crazy, right? So with Telegram really launching pushing the Ton chain and the Telegram wallet there in Q3, Q4 last year, we really saw, hey, Ton is great, Telegram is great, and they're building an ecosystem around it. But there is, millions of users and, literally billions of liquidity already on the EVM chains. How do we how do we bring those dApps and those chains inside Telegram on one side? And on the other side, how do we allow anyone, ideally my mom or my dad, to, go in and use this and go, hey, this is a lot simpler than, what I thought, or it's a lot simpler than what I'd seen when I tried last to set up, my MetaMask account, and I didn't know what to do with the passphrases and the paper, or, where to leave it and store it securely. So I think there's a tremendous potential in these new standards and technologies are coming up that can make a difference. And to your question there, Telegram is going to have soon 1 billion users. They're heading towards some IPO as well. It's a fantastic platform. It makes things extremely easy. You have your address book there, and ultimately, all of us that work in crypto are already on Telegram. So it's kind of the natural habitat for, the current and the next generation of Web3 users.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how many conferences I've been to where it's we're only exchanging Telegrams. Occasionally we'll get a LinkedIn, but I'm like, do you have Telegram? Let's keep it there. So it's everybody's on there. So maybe walk us through what it looks like just to set up. How simple is it?
Look, the simplest way to set up is actually right here on my shirt. So if you look at this, and this comes out in the camera, give this a shot, scan the QR code, try it yourself.
So I just try to try it right now. Give it a shot.
So.
Okay.
Got it. So now this is going to open up Telegram. It's going to activate the wallet you didn't know you already had, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to credit you 1,000 G1, which is our growth token. You call it the easiest to use token in Web3.
Okay.
And you're set. We got your wallet. We can take that. We can go and exchange it. You can fund it. You can use it with Wallet Connect to connect to any DEX, to OpenSea to buy an NFT. And that's it. And that's how fast you can onboard to Web3 now.
I mean, I'm all about, as the audience may know, I complain about Web3 and how there's too much lingo. Yeah, right.
I think I complain more than you do.
Probably, but I've publicly complained about how there's too much lingo, there's too much barriers to entry, basically, to actually get the people, the general public, let's say, I'm not going to use the other words, the general public into Web3, and even not even saying Web3, but just sharing whatever, money, or just giving them a function of.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
That's how I see it as well. Like, I think the holy grail here is, how do we get this technology that, many of us that work in it love and believe in, that, cannot be shut down, that has great aspirations in it and great dreams, but how do you actually bring it to the average user? How do you get to this pizza moment again, right? Like, how do you now go from the activation that I just, you just activated your own wallet in a single click? How do you go from that to being able to order a pizza, pay your cab, split the bill on a dinner, right? How pay your rent, get this to you? And I think we are not that far away. There's so much stuff that has happened, especially in the last, through the last cycle. So there's a lot of technologies there. There's a lot still on road to go forward. But I think now is the moment really to go, hey, there was the time of the ICOs and the craze, the funding, and then there was, DeFi and fantastic, and then we had the NFTs, and all of this kind of marked a big, milestone. We're now seeing all the meme kinds, and it's all really nice. But the thing that I'm really excited about is, how do we give real world utility to this and not build an ecosystem and a world that is kind of confined into itself, where people use all the same lingo, all have the same problem, but it never gets outside this strange box. And yeah, that's what at least we and many others are working.
Excellent. So we're here in Dubai. Let's talk about Token 2049. How has the event been for you? I mean, obviously we had a major flood there is that, but how has the event been for you, and how's been the reaction to some of the people you've been talking to?
It's been great. Met a lot of people. To be honest, I have spent a lot on the main events. I think my impression was 80% of the people moved on the side events anyway. So interesting to see everyone, every company had to do a yacht trip, right?
Right.
So you can only do so many of those.
Yeah, you can only go on so many yachts.
And I'd rather delayed, and some getting canceled while you're on it. And yesterday we tried to go to the Gate.io party event, the pumps, and took us an hour in a traffic jam to get there.
Sure.
And then the event was locked down and couldn't go in.
Yeah.
So we ended up eating a burrito for $25.
Nice.
It's the dream of the Web3 conferences. This being said, highly effective in order to meet a lot of people really quickly. A lot of people, again, that you talk to in Telegram now can put a face on it. And I think it's not even that important from a work perspective. I don't think anyone really gets any work done, but it adds this the social layer, fabric and human layer on top of the existing somewhat relationhips that are all digital. So I think there's a lot of value in that.
Yeah, and I mean, just with your product, it's you go to these events and you instantly set someone up with a wallet, and then it's they probably, it probably spreads pretty quickly from there too.
Yeah, so that's what, how this all set up. You can, in the case in the wallet, you can now go in, you got the tokens, and you can now create another link, share this again, and earn more tokens. That token gets redeemed against the main utility token. that's helped by one of our investors, Binance. We're a Binance Labs company, so we're doing IDO in July, and it's clear incentive to say, hey, our vision here is to make Web3 simple, and that's what we are after, and really single-mindedly, how do we chop stuff off this complexity all the time? And ultimately, in our case, the token is a way of making a bet on the market leader in smart wallets, because by transactions and by deployments, that's what we are. But more importantly, it's a bet on this vision, and to say, hey, I think it's possible. I think it's worth doing it. I believe that there's value in doing this. And in our case, by holding the token, you're kind of giving a vote to that. And you're obviously participating in the process of building this out. And, it's crypto.
Cool. I mean, should we go into maybe the origin of this idea? That's
I've been doing internet startups since the 90s, and so Web 1. I remember since the internet came around, I've always been totally fascinated how it transforms everything, really, politics, education, business, most evidently. And it's gone through, many interesting, some frustrating cycles. I think for anyone who has a real interest in the internet as a broad topic, Web3, blockchain, crypto is inevitable. It's inevitable to participate. I got in actively working pretty late. It was really in 2017, 18 with, again, the ICO craze going on. I hadn't really grasped what was going on, and just thought, which is in the end true, mostly bullshit. Right? It was just all overhyped projects raising $100 million on their website with spelling mistakes. And if you had some other cycles in web startups, you'd be like,
yeah,
you must be kidding me. So I was sitting there, and my way into was to say, hey, I'd not touched any codes really since high school, which is in mid-90s, and I sat down and started coding the Solidity for 2-3 days just to get the basics. And at some point I was like, all right, I think I get it. You can't switch it off, and these systems are going to produce economics, savings in how systems work on a global scale that are so huge that these two things make it absolutely inevitable. And was for me very clear after doing internet stuff for 20 years, 15 years, don't know, when there's no way around me. I would be, this is not only shooting in myself in the foot, but there's simply, I don't have an option but to dive in. I have to be there.
So I'm guessing you see a lot of parallels from right now to back then even.
It's always very similar cycles.
Yeah.
It's always market cycles. It's just interesting to see the cycles from Web 1 and Web 2 that are kind of going over maybe a 5-year cycle, 6-year cycle, 7-year cycle sometimes. But seeing the stuff happening in crypto in 1 year or 18 months, and it's not a soft curve, but it's just boom, and everybody wants to be there, and then it's totally depressing, and no, it's never gonna work. It's not happening, and it's crazy how it affects people's minds. Everyone, right? It's not. I'm not excluding myself. I would not, be lying to say you're in the crypto winter and running out of money in your startup, and you don't start thinking about maybe this wasn't a good idea.
I mean,
from a business perspective, hey, as a hobby, or invest a little bit in crypto is fine, but dedicating, your work, your business, in this space is, it takes you on this roller coaster, like any other internet or technology startup. Just then it's a little bit more radical, I think.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it sounds very practical, very user-friendly, very, easy to access. I mean, if you can set up a Telegram, if you have access to Telegram, you can set up a product.
Telegram access, check it out. Look for Grindery or scan the QR code I put in earlier. And, let us know what you think. Contribute back. Join the movement. Let's bring real-world utility to crypto.
Yeah. I mean, where can people find you?
Grindery.com or on Telegram.
Telegram? On X?
Grindery. At X as well.
Okay.
It's Grindery. Easiest one is on Telegram.
Awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much for the interview. Maybe pop that shirt.
This again.
Yeah, just give them a second chance.
This is going to work on this YouTube video or wherever this is playing. You can scan it with your phone, then and boom.
Yeah, should pick it up. All right, Tim, thank you so much.
Thanks, man.